You close your eyes and something happens that most of us never stop to notice. Your brain begins to dream. It does not simply replay the day, it builds. It builds rooms that do not exist. It builds people you have never met. It builds rules and stories and feelings that have no source outside your own head. And you are not watching any of this from a distance. You are inside it. You feel the floor under your feet. You hear voices speaking to you. You make choices. You experience fear or relief or confusion as if these things were actually occurring. The dream feels real, completely real. Then you wake up. And within minutes, sometimes within seconds, almost all of it is gone. You might keep one image. You might keep a feeling that lingers for a little while. You might keep the sense that something important happened. But the actual experience, the one that felt so present and whole while you were in it, has already disappeared. Most people treat this as normal. Dreams are not supposed to last. They are not real events. They are something else. But the reason they vanish so completely is not random. It has to do with how your brain handles memory, emotion, and the sense of self during sleep. During REM sleep, when most vivid dreaming takes place, your brain enters a very particular state. Certain areas become highly active. The regions that process vision and emotion and even the preparation for movement are working hard. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that usually helps you judge whether something makes sense or whether it is actually happening, is much quieter. That is one reason the dream feels so convincing while you are inside it. There is no strong internal voice saying, this cannot be real, or this does not add up. The usual reality check is turned down, so the world your brain is generating feels complete and believable. At the same time, the systems that normally move waking experiences into lasting memory are not working in their usual way. The hippocampus, which helps tag and begin storing real events during the day, behaves differently in REM. It is not performing the same tagging and transfer process. The dream can be intense. It can feel meaningful in the moment, but very little of it gets written into the kind of memory you can later pull up and say, this happened to me. That is one clear mechanical reason most dreams disappear so quickly. There is a second reason that runs even deeper. When you wake up, your sense of self is still coming back online. The part of your mind that narrates your ongoing story, the part that says, this is me, this is what is happening to me, is not fully awake yet. Dreams often occur in a state where that narrator is offline or only partially present. Without a stable you to attach the experience to, the dream never becomes a proper memory of something that happened in your life. It stays as loose images and feelings with no clear owner. And without language to organize those images into a sequence that can be told and held onto, they have nothing to anchor them. They simply dissolve. This is why young children often cannot describe their dreams even when they clearly had them. Their sense of self and their ability to use language to build lasting stories are still developing. The same systems that allow you to keep clear memories of your waking life are the ones that usually fail to keep your dreams. Not every dream disappears completely. The ones that carry strong emotion are more likely to survive the night. A nightmare can stay with you for hours or even days because the emotional centers were highly active and because the dream often happened closer to waking, when more of your normal memory systems were already coming back online. A dream that feels ordinary has a much harder time making it through. Even when we do remember a dream, what we remember is rarely the full thing. It is a version that our waking brain has already begun to edit. We fill in gaps. We make it more story-like. We turn it into something we can tell someone else. The original experience, the one that felt entirely real while it was happening, is already gone. This process happens to every human being every single night. You spend time in worlds that feel as real as this one. You interact with people who exist only for those minutes. You feel things that have no source in your actual waking life. And then you return. And almost none of it comes with you. The version of you that was dreaming does not continue into the day. Only the version that woke up remains. You start the day as someone who has already forgotten most of what they just lived through. This is not a flaw in how dreaming works. It may be the point. If every dream stayed with the same clarity as a real memory, the line between what actually happened and what your brain invented would become much harder to maintain. Your brain appears to allow the full experience during sleep. It lets you feel it without the usual filters. And then it mostly lets it go. The quiet strangeness is how normal this feels to us. We wake up. We might say we had a strange dream, or we might say nothing at all. We go on with the day. We do not feel the loss of the person we were while we were sleeping. That person is already gone. And every night it happens again. You become someone else for a while, and by morning that someone has already been left behind. Only fragments remain, if anything remains at all. And this is true for every person who has ever closed their eyes and dreamed.